Hi everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to Quinique. Today in this video I'm going to show you how to make a cardigan, and this cardigan is called the Teal of Dreams. And so this is what it looks like. This is the front of it. It has this little dip right here, as you can see on both sides. It's very beautiful. This is going to be a very long video, and I'll show you the inside. So it's a stripe of white and teal, and then we're going to do this really beautiful bottom border, and then we're also going to do this side border, and then we're also going to do the pockets and this really beautiful border on the sleeves. And I'm going to show you how to make the long sleeves because we are still kind of like in winter time, so I wanted a cardigan that would keep you really nice and warm. And then I will also flip it over so you can see the back. Give me 1 second so I can flip this so you can actually see this beautiful stripe pattern. There we go. That's what it's going to look like, even on the back. It's very beautiful. It's nice and warm. It's very thick. I will also show you down at the very bottom in the description. I will post a video of how I did the two-tone colors. And then of course in the video I will also show you how to connect each of the squares so you can make this really cool stripe pattern. So let's get into the video, and also don't forget to scroll down, hit that like button so I know that you're enjoying this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos such as this one and others I will do in the future. Alright, let's get into the tutorial. Alrighty, so the tools you're going to need is going to be a yarn needle with a large eye hole so you can sew in all your strings, a pair of scissors, a H8 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, or any crochet hook that you would like. And the yarn you're going to need, this one is a Hobby Lobby yarn, and this is just teal. I used about 3 skeins of the teal and about 3 skeins of the white. And you can do Red Heart, you can do Mainstays, you can do Hobby Lobby, anything like that, but 3 massive yarn skeins. And of course I will be posting a video on how to do the two-tone granny square, and you're going to need about 15 squares of these. I'm doing between a medium and a large cardigan, and what I did for the two-tone is 7 rows. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 rows for the granny square, and I will post that video down below so you can go and watch it. You can do more rows, less rows. I just wanted it to be a fairly large square so that way I can make this cardigan. Alright, so let's see how to connect all 15 of these squares, and then we'll go from there. Okay, once you have your 15 two-tone granny squares already made, I have not sewn in any of my strings. What we're going to do is I'm going to do it in a stripe pattern. Okay, so this is how you do your stripe pattern. Okay, so you'll take your first one like this, and you're pretty much going to line them up. So I'm going to turn this one this way because I want the stripe pattern to go this way instead of this way. Okay, so pretty much your first one, you'll have your white on the bottom, your teal on the top. Your second one will be the teal on the bottom and the white on the top. So you can start your stripe pattern. We're going to do the back, and for the back I did 9 squares. Okay, then you'll take your next one like this. Since the white is on the bottom, we're going to turn it to where the white is now going to be on the top, like you see right here. Okay, and then you'll take your next one and you'll turn it to where the teal, excuse me, turn it this way. There we go. So the white is on the side and the teal is, the white is on the left, the teal is on the right. So this is pretty much what it's going to look like so far for the back. And as you can see, it's starting to make that stripe pattern. Okay. Okay, so there's that portion. Now the next portion will be this one. And I'm gonna kind of turn my camera. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to have the teal on the top and the white on the bottom. Okay, and then the next one, you're going to have the white on the right hand side and the teal on the left hand side. So far this is what the stripe pattern should look like. Okay, so that's 6 squares so far. Okay, and then the next square will be this one, and you'll turn it downwards like this. Okay, so the white is going to be to the left, the teal is going to be on the top, sorry. White bottom, teal top. Okay, and the next square is going to be turned like this. Okay, so the teal will be more pointing like the white, and then the white will be up. So that way you can kind of match up the colors. And then the very last one will be the white one, and you'll turn it like this. Okay, and there is our stripe pattern for our back. And when we do this 2 sides right here, kind of do the same thing, and I'll show you how to do that. I know this took a little bit longer to show, but once you have your stripe pattern, then you can finally connect all of your squares. Okay, so I'm going to fold these up here like this, and we are now going to grab our hook and our white yarn to start connecting these. Alrighty, so we are back, and I grabbed my tape measure, and I'm pretty much going to measure the squares. So the squares are going to be a little bit more than about 7.5 inches. Okay, so maybe close to about 8 inches. Okay, that'll be each one of these squares. So pretty much 8, 16, 24 for 3 squares. Okay, so your back is going to be 24 inches. Now we're going to connect these granny squares, and the best way we're going to do this is with a single crochet. So you're going to grab your 2 squares that I have up here. Okay, and I'm going to turn them like this, and I am just going to connect them right here in this corner. Okay, grab my yarn, and I'm going to pull through, and I'm just going to tie on. And what I'm basically going to do is a single crochet all the way down. Okay, nothing too difficult, nothing too hard. I wanted it to be really simple. Okay, so you're going to put your hook into your spacing, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and chain 1. We're going to make 1 single crochet right into that spacing. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work, and we are going to find our stitches. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to take the inside stitches right here. So as you can see, you have 2 stitches right here. Instead of going under both, I'm going to go on the back loop for this one, and for the back loop of this one over here, if I can grab it. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. So back loop, yarn over and pull through, And I'm going to do that all the way down the line. And I will meet you down there in just a minute. So remember, you're going in the back loop and the back loop of the second one right there. Okay, and I'll be back in just a few moments. Alrighty, so I made it down to the other end. Now this one's a little funky because you have like a little string right there from when you were connecting. Don't even worry about it. So I just am going to go right into that spacing, and I'm going to go right into here, and I'm just going to yarn over and just do one single crochet like that. Okay, and that is how you finish off your first section. And then you're going to grab your scissors and you're just going to cut your yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay, and that is the first stripe that is connected, as you can see. For your next one, so for this one, you're going to put this one off to the side because that one is pretty much done. And then for the next two right here, you're just going to pretty much grab this bottom part and this part and turn it. So that way you can kind of keep that stripe pattern going. And then again, we're going to connect this. So just going to go right into that spacing like this, and right into that spacing. Yarn over and pull through. And I'm going to tie it on, make sure I got the right one. Okay. And again, we're just doing single crochet. Go into there, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, chain one, go back into that spacing for a single crochet. I like to pull them apart so I can see the stitches easier, so I can see that back loop and then see that other loop. Now this one looks a little more difficult because it looks like they're kind of twisted, so pull them apart. So it's always the back one and then the back one right there, and then you just make that single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to connect this one and I'll meet you down there in just a moment. Alrighty, so I'm back and I literally have 2 more stitches on one side and only 1 stitch on this side. So I'm just going to go into this one in single crochet. I'm going to go back into that stitch again and then go into this one, so that way I can connect those two, make a single crochet. Now finally I just have this spacing and that spacing, and I can just go right in there and make a single crochet, and I am done. And that can happen with your work. Alrighty, so once that is done, take your scissors, cut your yarn over and pull through and pull through. So what I'm going to do now is finish the rest of my stripes. Okay, well I'm going to finish connecting these two and the other ones over there. So pretty much once you are done connecting, you should have everything fall into place like this. Now when you're connecting the next portion, what you'll pretty much do is grab the side over here and the side over here. Okay, so we'll connect those. Okay. And then, so we'll connect these really quickly and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, and you'll just connect it just like you did when you did the 2, but this time you're connecting 4. Tie that on to your work. Okay, and then put your hook in there, grab, pull through, chain 1, and put a single crochet right into there. Okay, and again you'll just start where you'll do the back loop and the back loop and single crochet. And I will meet you down at the middle section in just a minute, and I will show you how to connect these 2 sections right here. Okay, I'll be down there in just a few moments to show you how to do that. Okay, so I made it down to the middle section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a single crochet right into the spacing. Okay, And then to connect these two sections right here, what I ended up doing was, okay, give me 1 second, going through here and then going back through here like this. So pretty much what I ended up doing was I ended up going through this one right here, the bottom one, and then going back like this and finding the top one and going right through like that. Then I'm just going to yarn over, okay, pull through, make a single crochet, and then I'm going to go back over through here and make a single crochet. Okay, and when you look at it, excuse me, I had my crochet hook in my mouth. When you look at it, that is what it should, look like. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this because we have a lot to do with this cardigan, and I would like to connect everything. So the next portion that I'm going to do, once I finish connecting these, there we go. So once I'm done connecting these 4 squares, okay, I am going to grab these 3 squares over here, okay, and I'm going to connect them to this portion right here. So that's what I'm going to do once I'm done connecting the 4. Take the 4 squares and connect these 2 right here. Then connect the back 2 right here, connect those back 2, and then those 3, and then the whole thing should be done. So I will be back shortly once all of this is connected, and then we will make the back longer, and I'll show you how to do that. Alrighty, I am back, and as you can see, I actually finished the whole entire back portion. Everything is connected and ready to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here at the very bottom and we're going to make this longer. Now, the other thing I ended up doing was I ended up putting a stitch marker here to let me know that this side was up and which way my stripes were going. So use a stitch marker to help you with that, or else your stuff becomes a little disembobulated. Excuse me. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our hook and our yarn, and we're going to make the bottom portion down here a little bit longer. And so we're going to start with white, and I'm going to kind of do it in stripes. So I'm going to do probably 2 rows of white and then 2 rows of the teal. So you're going to connect in the corner right here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the granny stripe. Okay, so put your hook right in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, and chain 1. And in the corner right here, we're just going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Then you're going to skip over. We're not even going to do any chaining. And we're going to put 3 double crochets right into that spacing. Yarn gets a little tight. And all I'm going to do is just put 3 double crochets into every single spacing all the way across. Okay, so I'll just go all the way across, and I'll show you once I get to here what to do next. Okay, so I'll be back here in just a few moments. Alrighty, so when you make it to this section right here, okay, The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 double crochet right into here, and then I'm going to put 1 double crochet right into this little sector right here, if I can get under 2 of those bars. Sometimes it's hard to get under, just, okay, these ones right here. Okay, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Then that way, you will actually have your 3 double crochets, okay? So there was a little piece right there, and this is kind of what it will look like. Okay, so I'm going to do that for 2 rows in the white, and then I will change colors to the teal. Okay, so I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, so I made it to the other side, and all you're going to do is put 2 double crochets into the very last spacing right there. And then what you'll do is you'll chain 1 and you'll turn your work. Okay. Sorry, my neighbor has a really noisy dog, so you're gonna hear a lot of barking. Okay, and so then what you're gonna do now is you're gonna put 1 double crochet in the top of that double crochet. So every other row, you're either gonna put 2 double crochets or 1 double crochet. And then you're gonna go into that spacing for 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay, so it kind of offsets it, as you can see. And then into the next one, you'll put 3 double crochets, and then you'll do it all the way to the end. And so I already measured it, and the back is actually 23 inches wide. 23 inches long, and so we're going to try and get to 32 inches. So after I do 2 rows of the white, I'm going to change to the teal and do 2 rows of teal, 2 rows of white until I get to about 32 inches long. Alrighty, so I will be back shortly. Alrighty, so I made it to the other side. And then all you do is you're going to put 3 double crochets into that last spacing right there. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And then into this very last stitch right here, you'll just put 1 double crochet. Just like that. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll cut off our yarn. Yarn over and pull through and tighten, and then you'll grab the teal yarn like this. Okay, so once you have your teal, you go into that very first stitch and you'll just connect your yarn like this, and I just tie it on. Now because this one's a little silkier, you can do a double knot like this. Like this, okay, so that way it'll actually stay. Put your hook back into that stitch, grab your yarn and pull up a loop, and then chain 1 and turn your work. And now with this row, you're going to put 2 double crochets into that stitch instead of the 1. And what I actually like to do is instead of going into the stitch, I'll go into the spacing right here. So I'll just go right into that spacing and just put 2 double crochets, because now you have that spacing really close. So as down here we had the 2 double crochets, you would just put the 1 on top of it. And then now you'll put the 2 double crochets into that spacing. So then the row after this one, you'll put 1 double crochet. So every other row, it's 2 double crochets, then 1, 2 double crochets, then 1. And that's on each side. And then you'll go right into the next spacing and put 3 double crochets into that spacing. And I will do this for 2 rows in the teal. Then I'll change back to the white and do 2 rows of that. I will be back shortly and tell you how many rows I actually did. So right now we have 3 rows. I'll let you know shortly. Okay, I know I said I would come back once I am to the length I need to be, but I'm not. I'm just at the other end of the row. So when you get to the end of your row, you're just gonna put 2 double crochets into the end right here. And you don't need to go into that stitch or anything. Just put 2 double crochets and that will just finish off your row. Okay, just like we did down here where we chained 1 and then put 2 double crochets right into that spacing. So that's all I just did, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn and then I'm going to make another row. Okay, so I will be back shortly and let you know how many rows I actually did to get to 32 inches. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, so I'm on the very last row and I have 1 more double crochet to make. Okay, and I'm finally done, and this is how long it is. Okay, so pretty much starts right here, and I did 14 rows in total. So we're gonna cut our yarn. It is the next day. I ended up taking a little break and then coming back to it. So 14 rows. Here we go. This is what it looks like. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14 is right here. Okay, so now that we are done, and it is 32 inches, now that you are done with the back, you're going to put this off to the side, and you're going to grab those 6 last granny squares, and we're going to connect them. And what I'm going to do is kind of spread this out because I want it to still have that stripe pattern. So we're going to take the first one right here. I'm going to turn it downwards like this. Okay, so this one is going to be, the teal is going to be connected to this teal, and the white is going to be on the top. And then your white portion right here is going to be down like this. Okay, and we're just going to kind of move up. And then we're going to turn the teal to where it's like that. Okay, so that way we still have that stripe pattern. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to connect all 3 of these granny squares. So just connect them like we did at the beginning of the video where we use single crochet to connect each one. And once all 6 of these are connected, I'll be back. Okay, so I didn't finish connecting all 6 of the granny squares because I forgot to show you how to do the 3 granny squares on the left side. I showed you on the right side, but not on the left side. So we're going to do that real quick. So to do this pattern on the left hand side of your cardigan, okay, you're going to take one of your granny squares like this, because we want to keep that stripe pattern, and you're going to turn this one upwards, okay, just like that. So that way the pattern goes up like this. Instead of turning it like this where it looks like a triangle, you'll turn it this way. Okay, then we'll just move right down the line to the second one. And again, don't do it like a triangle like this. Turn it upwards like that. Okay, so that way you still have that stripe pattern going on, as you can see. And we'll move down to the very last one right there. And you'll turn it upwards like this. Okay, so that's how you do the left side, and then you'll just connect them right here. And when these 3 are done, I will be back shortly, and then we will move on to connecting all 3 of these on the left and right hand side of the cardigan, and then starting the sleeve. Alrighty, so I finished the I finished the 6 granny squares, okay, and on top of that I also put a little stitch marker on the top to let me know this is the top of the granny square and this is also the top of the cardigan. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, after I connected all 6 of the granny squares, okay, I actually decided to start doing the bottom portion. Now, instead of the back portion where I did 14, I actually did 10 rows instead. Kind of wanted to offset it like this, okay? So there's just 2 rows on the very bottom right here that I did not finish. So I just did 10 rows. I wanted to offset so that way the front portion is shorter than the back portion. And so I'm going to do that with the right side as well. And then we are going to get started with connecting the sides and then doing the sleeve. So when I did this, again, when we first started the back portion, I also did it in white first, then teal, white, teal, and then ended off on white. You can do it however you'd like, but I wanted to kind of keep the striping going, as you can see. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the right side now, just like I did the left side, and then I will be back shortly. Alrighty, so I finished both of them, as you can see. They're both done. So excited. So what I did off of camera is I ended up putting the stitch marker right here on the back section. This is going to tell me where I want my sleeve. Okay, so pretty much what I just did was, it's kind of hard to see since my camera is kind of small, but I just did 1 full granny square and then I flipped it over and I went down about 2 sections right there. Okay, so just right on that one, as you can see. Okay, and I did the same thing on the other side as well, so that way I knew this is going to be my sleeve portion. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to flip your back over to where you no longer see the single crochet. And we're going to go to the top portion right here, and we're going to take the sides, these ones right here, and we're going to connect them. And the best thing to do this is make sure you have the right sections, because I totally messed up. So this one, so this looks like this was the left portion, so since I have the back kind of the wrong side, now this is going to be reversible, so this looks like it's right. So I'm going to connect these 2 right here. And the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet across the top. So I'm going to flip the cardigan so that way I can work from right to left. Okay, there we go. Grab the crochet hook, and we're going to grab the white yarn that we've been using the whole time. So pretty much we're at the top of the cardigan. This is the side and this is the back. Okay, I'm going to connect it right here into this corner space. Put your yarn through and tie on. And we are going to be doing single crochet like we did when we connected the back pieces. Put your hook into the spacing, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over in chain 1, go back into that spacing for a single crochet, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. And then of course, like we did before, we're going to go into the back loops only. So there's a back loop, and then there's a back loop for the white side. And we're just going to single crochet all the way across, just like this. So I'll meet you back in just a few moments. Alright, so I'm back, and I decided to leave open a little spacing, because a lot of times when you are doing the connection on the top, you kind of want a little flap portion. And so if this is wide enough for your neck, then I would single crochet to the end, which I think I'm going to do anyways. So I am going to single crochet to the end, because I think if I have this correctly, the granny square is actually going to be the width of my neck. Okay. And one more right into that spacing. One single crochet. And then that one's a little loose, so I'm going to retighten that. And there we go. And then we're going to just cut the yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay. And I want to make sure this looks good. So we're actually going to turn the cardigan. Okay. Give it a good look. I'm going to put my scissors away, and I'm going to put my crochet hook away. And so this is how it should look. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And remember, we had left the two bottom portions, so I think that looks really good. Okay, so now that we have that section, what we're going to do now is we're going to connect this section right here. We're going to connect this side all the way to where the sleeve is. And what I like to do is just take my stitch marker and put it into that spacing right there. So that way I know I need to stop right here. Okay, so you're going to come down here to the very bottom. We're going to grab our crochet hook, and we're going to grab our white yarn. If I can get it real quick. Move the light in more. Okay. So we are skipping the last 4 rows at the bottom, and we're going to go right into this spacing right here. And make sure that we have good lighting here. Okay. So you'll go right into the spacing right here. Put your yarn onto your hook, and we are just going to tie on. Now this time, since we are unable to do the single crochet back loop, what you're going to do for this one, put your hook into that spacing, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. Into this very first spacing right here, we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 single crochets. And then into the next portion right here, you should be able to see a spacing. We will just put 1, and then there should be a spacing right there. 1 single crochet, just like this. And into the big spacings like this, you'll put 2 single crochets. Okay, 1 and 2, and then double crochets like this, you will just put 1 single crochet. Okay, kind of space it out so it's not too tight and it's not too loose. So I'm going to single crochet all the way down to this portion right here where we finally have stitches, and then I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I have 1 more single crochet that I have to do, and then now we're into this portion right here. So we're going to put 1 single crochet right into that spacing, and then we're going to do the back loop single crochet like we were doing before, just like this, now that we have stitches. And so we're going to do that all the way up to the stitch marker, and actually I'll do it all the way up to here, and then I'll show you how to kind of close off this section. Okay, so I'll be right back in just a moment. Alrighty, so I made it to this portion right here. I got a couple more stitches. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet into this spacing right here, and then what I did before was I put my crochet hook into here, and then I turned my work and I found the next stitch right here, put my crochet hook right into there, grabbed my working yarn and pulled up a loop, yarned over and single crocheted. Then I just single crocheted right into that spacing right there. And that is how your portion should look. That way it pretty much looks like it's actually connected. Alrighty, so we're almost, whoops, we are almost down at the other end. We are very close. I'll meet you down here in just a few moments. Alright, so we finally made it to the stitch marker, and I'm going to pull it out. Okay. And then it looks like I should have just 2 more stitches left. So this one right here, whoops, this one right here, and then of course this one right here. If I can get it in there. There we go. Okay, so at that point, now that you have made it successfully all the way to the stitch marker, we are now going to take our scissors and cut it off. Okay, we're going to yarn over and pull through and pull through. I think at this point right now, I would suggest trying on your cardigan and seeing how it fits, seeing if this is wide enough for your arms or for your sleeves. And if it's not, then you can just back it up just a little bit to where you need a little bit more room. Or if it's too loose, you can just go add more stitches. For me, I think this is going to be wide enough for my sleeve. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect the other side. Whoa. Okay, apologies for that. I am going to connect the other side over here. And when we come back, we will do the sleeve. Okay, so I will be back shortly. Alright, so I finished crocheting up the right side right here. And I also finished crocheting this side right here, so that way we can start on the sleeve. The other thing I had to figure out is what color to do the sleeve, so I decided on white. So we're going to take our 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and we are going to start on the sleeve. I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and all I'm going to do is put my hook into that spacing right there, pull through, and tie on. Now I already did a portion of the left sleeve, so you're going to grab your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and make a chain. We're just going to do 1 double crochet into this stitch. Okay. And we are also going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to skip that connection right there. So pretty much all I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch. So I'm going to go into this stitch and this one right here, And I'm going to do that all the way around the cardigan. So something like this, just put double crochet into here and a double crochet right into there. That is pretty much where your cardigan is connected. I don't want you to put any weird double crochets into here. Just skip right over it, and then and then just put one double crochet into every single stitch all the way around. And I will meet you back at the very beginning. When you are done, you should have 53 stitches all together. Alrighty, so I will be back shortly. Okay, so I made it all the way around, and this is actually my 52nd stitch. I'm going to put one more stitch into here, and that will make it 53. And then we're just going to slip stitch on the top of this very first stitch from the beginning of the round. So yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay, so when you do your sleeve, you're going to be working on the outside of your cardigan and going around. You can also crochet on the inside. I like to crochet on the outside. So what I'm going to do, I always crochet on the inside. I'm going to turn my cardigan, and when I do round number 2, I'm going to chain and turn the other way around. Alright, so now yarn over and pull through, and then go into your that stitch. You have to back it up one stitch into that one right there and put one double crochet. Now all you're doing is putting one double crochet into every single stitch until you get back around. And I'm going to do this for a total of 6 rows. Once my 6 rows are done, we will move on to the decrease process of decreasing the sleeve, so that way it will fit better. Alrighty, so I will meet you back in 6 rows, and I will show you how to decrease the sleeve. Alrighty, so I am back, and I actually made it 5 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5 that I'm finishing. On row number 6, we're actually going to decrease on that row. So I just have 2 more stitches I have to go into to finish row number 5. Let me finish that real quick. And we will start row number 6. Go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, pull through and pull through to slip stitch your your beginning row. Okay, so to start the decrease process, you're going to chain 1, go back into that stitch. So you're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through only 2 of those. Yarn over, go into your second stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Now yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is decreasing 2 stitches together to make 1 stitch. We're going to do that at the beginning of every round and at the very end of every round. So you should have 2 decreases at the very beginning, double crochet around your work, come back and decrease the last 2 stitches. That way, when I decrease these stitches, I will have 51 at the end of row number 6. I should have 49 at the end of row 7. We're going to do this for a total of 15 rounds, decreasing at the beginning and at the end. On row number 15, we will only decrease at the beginning of the round because I am looking for 34 stitches and I want to decrease 2 stitches every row. I hope that makes sense. So I will meet you back around on I will meet you back around once I make it all the way around to the end. So after you decrease, just put 1 double crochet into every single stitch. And then I will meet you back around at the very end. Alrighty, so I didn't make it around, but my little Sody bear wanted to be in the video. As you can see, here she comes. There she is. She's pretty upset with me, so she's walking away. Alrighty, so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to double crochet all the way around. When I get back, I will skip 2 stitches before the end to decrease them. There she is. She's like, hey, I'm right here. She just loves being in these videos. There she is. There's my little kitty girl. She is not too happy with me. Okay, here. We'll put the light on her so you can see her. Say hello, Sonia. I promised her she could be in the video. And so she's been sitting on my desk until I put her in the video. Okay, everyone. There is Sonia. Say hello. Hi, baby girl. She's super happy. Alright, we will be back shortly. Okay, so I'm back, and I left the last 2 stitches uncrocheted. So these are going to be the ones that we are going to decrease. So you're going to yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go into your last stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That will decrease both double crochets for you. And then you'll just go into this very last stitch at the very beginning of the round and slip stitch into it. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So that was row number 6. I apologize. I said to do 15 rows. You are going to leave off on row number 14 with the 2 decreases at the beginning and end of the round, and then on row number 15 you will only decrease at the beginning of the round, and then we will be done with the decreases. And I will be back on row number 14 to show you how to do row number 15. Alrighty, so pretty much what I'm going to do is 9 rounds. So that way you will land on row number 14. So every round from here to row 14 will be decrease at the beginning, decrease at the end. And there is Sonia wanting so many petties. I promised her, and she wanted in the video, so I have to keep my promise, or else she gets very, very, very upset. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna do 14 rounds, and then I will be back on row number 15 to show you how to finish that off, and then I'll let you know how many rounds we need to do to finish off the sleeve. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Say hi, Sonia. She's such a sweetie. All she wants to be is in the video, and every time I have a day off to record, this is what she does. But I promised her, so I'm gonna let her be in the video. Well, I don't let her. She just takes over and says, I'm gonna be in it whether you like it or not, and that's okay. Okay, we'll be back soon, everyone. I'm gonna give Sonia scratchies and lovies. Okay, we'll be back soon. Say bye, Sonia. She's like, bye-bye. Alrighty, so I reached row number 14. As you can see, it's getting pretty long. Okay, so all I have to do is decrease one more time. So I'm going to yarn over, go into my stitch, grab my working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, grab my working yarn and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3, slip stitch to the very first stitch from the beginning of the round, yarn over and pull through and pull through. And that is row number 14. Now you should have 35 stitches all the way around. I wanted 34, so I'm going to chain one. This is row number 15, and I'm going to decrease the very first stitch. Let me yarn over, go into my stitch, grab my working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into my next stitch, grab my working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3. So for row number 15, I'm only going to decrease at the beginning. I am not going to decrease at the end, and I'm just going to put 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way around, and I will meet you at the very end of this row. Okay, so I reached the end of row number 15. I'm going to put 1 more double crochet right into that stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first stitch from the beginning of the round. Alrighty, so that is what your sleeve is going to look like. My arm is about 18 inches long, and so what I'm going to do at this point is no more decreases, so you're just going to chain 1 and put 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way around. I'm going to do this for 25 rows. Come back on camera and let you know if that's long enough. If so, we are then going to change colors, and I'm going to show you how to make a nice little sleeve border. Now, if your arm is longer than mine, all you'll do is just add more rows. If your arm is also bigger than mine, then you don't need to decrease as many rows as I did. 34 stitches is perfect for my arm. Once I get to about the wrist portion right here, so this forearm portion, this is 34 stitches, and it has enough room for my arm, so that's why I've done 34. Alrighty, so I'm going to crochet until I get to 25 stitches. 25 rows. We're on row number 16 right now. So I'm going to do about 9 rows, and I will see you back in about 20 minutes. Okay everyone, we are back, and I made it to 25 rows. Okay, I'll just show you real quick. 25 rows. This is what it looks like. It's nice and long. Okay, I'm not going to count it for you. So now that I'm at 25 rows, I am now going to cut my yarn off, and we're going to switch to the teal. So we're going to grab our scissors, cut your yarn, yarn over, pull through and tighten nice and tight. Now for the 26th row, we're going to do a granny stripe stitch. So grab your teal yarn and put it onto your work. I'm just going to tie right on, just like this. Okay. Put your hook back into your stitch. Actually, I'm going to do a double knot. Sometimes this teal yarn will unravel itself because it's so silky. Okay, so let's do a double knot. Okay, that took me about 20 minutes to do the 10 rows. Actually, it was 9 because I was on row number 16. Okay, so put your hook back into your stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, and let's chain 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 double crochet into this stitch. Okay, so I'm going to put a 2nd double crochet into that same stitch. When I come back around, I'm going to put a 3rd double crochet into there, and then I'm going to slip stitch. So to do the granny stripe, you're going to skip 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, and into the 3rd stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. You're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the 3rd stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets. And this is how you do the granny stripe. Okay, so that's what it'll look like. I want this really pretty granny stripe border on the top of my sleeve. Okay, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the 3rd stitch we're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to do this all the way around the sleeve. I will meet you back at the very beginning in just a few moments. Alrighty, so I made it all the way back around. I have 2 more stitches to skip, and then into the 3rd one I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. Now that we're at the end, we'll only have 1 stitch to skip, which is okay. I'm going to put that 1 double crochet into that very last stitch right there where the 2 double crochets are, double crochet, and into that very first stitch from the beginning of the round I'm just going to slip stitch. I'm going to put my hook right in there, pull through and pull through, and then I'm going to grab my scissors and we're going to cut our yarn. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And there we go. That is what the border of your sleeve will look like. Now we're not done just yet. You're going to grab your white yarn now. And I am going to put it into this stitch right here, which is the very last stitch that I just crocheted into. And we are going to tie on. Now for this last portion of our sleeve border, I am going to do a single crochet border. So put your hook back into your stitch, pull up a loop, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, chain 1, go back into that stitch for a single crochet. So into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Single crochet into every single stitch all the way around, and I will meet you back on the other side. Alrighty, I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. I did not finish that row. I actually discovered something really neat, so I backed up my stitches. I just put the first 2 stitches at the very beginning. When you get to the spacing right here, actually put your hook in there and make a single crochet, and then single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then into the next spacing right there put a single crochet, and then one single crochet in the next 2 stitches like so, and then single crochet into the spacing. And I actually think that looks a lot cleaner and nicer than the way that I had it originally. So then that way it makes the granny stripe pop a little bit more. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it this way. You can just put it into every single stitch, and I'll meet you back at the beginning in just a few moments. Alrighty, so I made it back to the very beginning, and I just have a few more stitches I have to single crochet into. 1 and 2. And then slip stitch to the beginning of your work, yarn over and pull through and pull through. And this is what your sleeve will evidently look like. So I am going to do 1 more row of single crochet to finish off our sleeve border, and then I will meet you back in just a minute. So 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around, and I will meet you right back around in just a few moments. Okay, so I made it all the way back around. 1 more single crochet and slip stitch into the very first stitch from the very beginning of the round. Grab your scissors and cut off your yarn. Okay, yarn over and pull through and tighten. And this is what your sleeve border will look like. I'm going to leave it off on the 2 single crochets. I think that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to pull my sleeve out and show you what it looks like. So there we go. Okay. Now the sleeve might actually be a little bit longer than 18 inches, which is okay. I like a little bit more length where my wrist is, so that way I can, sorry about that, my scissors moved by themselves. Oops. Okay, so there is the sleeve. I hope you enjoyed that. We are now going to move on to the pockets. So now I'm going to grab my white yarn and we're going to do the pockets now. Okay, once you grab your white yarn, I'm going to show you how to do a pocket. Now I have my cardigan kind of flat because I'm going to show you something. So as you can see on the cardigan, we have these holes in the cardigan. That's from the two-tone granny square. So what we're going to do with the pocket is we're going to make it a double pocket. So when we sew it onto the cardigan and we put our fingers in our pocket, we're not sticking our fingers through the holes like this in the back of the pocket. So we actually can just put our fingers into the pocket, we can put stuff into the pocket, nothing falls out through these holes, as you can see. Okay? So, to make a double pocket, it will be very easy. You'll make it in one long piece, something like this, and you'll fold it and then sew up the sides and then sew it onto the cardigan. Okay, so we're going to do half double crochet for the pocket. So you're going to make a slip knot. Okay. Look, I tightened mine too tight. Put it onto your hook. And we're going to do a foundation half double crochet. So you're going to chain 2, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. You're going to go back into that very first stitch from the beginning of the round, yarn over, go into that stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and only pull through that first chain or that first loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. This is a foundation half double crochet. Yarn over, go back into those 2 stitches down there at the very bottom that you see, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and only pull through that first loop to make a chain. Yarn over and pull through all 3 to finish off your half double crochet. I'll do that one more time. You'll yarn over, go under these 2 bars right here that look kind of twisted. You're always working on the bottom, so your yarn tail should be facing up. Grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through that first loop to make a chain. Yarn over and pull through all 3 to finish off the half double crochet. Now I'm going to make 20 of these because I want my pocket to be a little bit wider. If you want your pocket a little bit smaller, do less foundations. You could do 15, you could do 10. I'm going to do 15 and I'm going to see how wide it is. And if it's not wide enough, I'm going to do 20. So I will be back shortly. Alrighty, so I ended up doing 18 foundation half double crochets. That was wide enough, but not too wide. So now, when you are working on the bottom of your foundation half double crochet, you're going to flip your work upward now, and we're going to chain 1, and into that very first stitch we're going to just do a half double crochet. Okay, so 1 half double crochet into every single stitch until you get to the end. And I will meet you down at the other end in just a few moments. Once you make it down to the other side, just put 1 half double crochet into that very last stitch. You'll just chain 1, turn your work, and put 1 half double crochet into every single stitch all the way across. I am going to do this for a total of 20 rows. When I am done with 20 rows, I will show you what to do next. Be back shortly. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention is when you are doing your sleeve, don't forget to do the other side. I did the right sleeve, and now I have to do the left sleeve. And also with the pockets, we're going to be making 2 of them. So once I make this one pocket, I will make the second one. Okay, so I will be back shortly. Alrighty, I am back and I finished the pocket. I actually ended up doing 33 rows, and as you can see, it works perfectly. So when I put my hand in there, it goes right up to my wrist. Now if you want your pocket longer, just do more rows. So now what we're going to do is we are going to sew the sides of our pocket. So I have my yarn needle ready to go. So the best way to find out how much yarn you will need is you'll take your yarn like this and you'll put it up against, and then you'll grab your yarn, and I do this about 3 times. 1, and this will be number 3. And then I take my scissors and I cut the yarn. Okay. And then go ahead and put your yarn onto your needle. Here we go. Grab the side of your pocket. Make sure it's nice and flush. Okay. And I am going to start. I'm going to start at the top right here. So I'm going to put my needle in the side like this. And then I'm just going to tie it on real quick. And I'm going to do a simple thread or so where it's in and out, and I'll show you that real quick. So I'm going to go in the back like this, and then I'm just going to go up through here like this. So I'm just going in and out of the stitches just like that. And I'm just going to sew this all the way down until I get to the bottom. Hopefully I have enough thread. I should have enough thread. And this way, from doing this type of sewing, it will actually hide the thread within your work and you won't be able to see it. Okay, so all I'm doing is just going back and forth in between the stitches and making sure I have something right in between there so it catches onto the work. Okay, I'll meet you down there in just a minute. Alrighty, so I made it down to the other side and I have one more stitch to go into. Like this, and now I'm going to tie off, so I'm going to go back around like this. Okay, so I'm going to make a loop with my fingers, so I make a loop and then I go back through that loop, hold it with my 2 fingers, making a brand new loop like that, go back through, let go, and just start slowly tightening the yarn, just like that. And then I'm just going to sew this into some of the stitches like so. Just going right in between. I'm going to go back through a couple more. Like that. and then I'm going to just cut off. And I just had enough yarn so I didn't have too much left over, which is really nice. Then I'm just going to cut my yarn, and that is how you sew up the side of your pocket. And that's what it should look like. And then I just have to do the other side. So I'm going to sew up the other side, and then we are going to get to sewing this onto the actual cardigan. Alrighty, I will be back shortly. What I would suggest is try on your cardigan, put your pocket where you would like it on your cardigan, and make sure it's where you want it. Put some stitch markers onto your cardigan where you want your pocket. I normally do 4 stitch markers, so that way I know bottom of the pocket and top of the pocket. Okay, I'm gonna go do that, and I will be back shortly. Alright, so both sides of the pocket are sewn up, as you can see. 1 and 2. Now, before we get started with sewing the pocket onto the cardigan, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to tie up these loose ends right here on the end of the pockets where I sewed it up, and I'm going to do a single crochet border in teal, and that will tie up all of those beautiful loose ends. So I'm just going to put my teal in any stitch on the pocket, and I'm going to tie on real quick. And I'm going to do a double knot because this yarn is very silky and will unknot very quickly, and we do not want that. And then I'm just going to put my hook in there into that stitch. I'm going to chain 1, go back into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up loop, yarn over, and pull through. And I am going to single crochet all the way around the pocket, until I get to the little corner here, which is right here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to single crochet right over it, just like this, so that way we can close up that hole right there. And I'm going to do that on the other side over here. Go into this stitch, and then just go into this stitch, single crochet and single crochet to close off that hole and make it a little more tighter. I think I'll do one more row after this one, and then we will sew the pocket onto the cardigan. Okay, I will be back shortly. Once you have made it all the way around, you're just going to slip stitch right into this very first stitch from the beginning of the round. Put your hook into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull through, and pull through. And this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to do one more round. So we're going to chain 1, go back into that stitch for a single crochet, and single crochet into every single stitch until you get back around to the very beginning. If you have made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit that like button so I know you're enjoying the video. And don't forget to subscribe if you're looking for more tutorials such as this one and others I will do in the future. I really would appreciate it. And I appreciate each and every single one of you for viewing this video. This one took a long time to make. Right now we are at about a week. Since I've been working so much, I haven't really had much time to sit down and record a video. Alrighty, so I will meet you back around at the very beginning, and then we'll go from there. I am at the end, and I just have one more stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into this first one. Actually, I've got one more after that one. There we go. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into the first stitch from the beginning of the round, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Grab my scissors and cut off my yarn. There we go. And this is what the pocket border looks like. So that'll be really pretty. And it also pulls in the pocket as well on the sides. Okay, so now we are going to get to sewing this. I have put all the stitch markers onto the cardigan. And I am doing it on the left side. So as you can see, all my stitch markers are right here. This is the bottom of the cardigan, and this is more of the top. And so I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to grab my white yarn, and I am going to hold my yarn here and put it around the pocket, as you can see. Okay, and then I'm going to do that 3 times. That should give me enough yarn to actually use for sewing this pocket. Okay, so all I'm doing is just folding the yarn and then going around the actual pocket, as you can see right there. Okay, just going around the actual pocket. And now I'm going to add just a tad bit more yarn. I'm going to cut, and that should be enough yarn for the purpose I need of sewing. Okay, we're going to thread our needle. You can also use pins to pin your pocket to keep it in place. But that's why I have the stitch markers, so that way if I don't have it in place, I know where my pocket is specifically going to be. Okay, so we're going to grab the cardigan, and we're going to start on this end right here. And I have my stitch marker in there, and so I have these little stitches at the very top, and I'm going to kind of pull up my pocket so they kind of line up with those stitches, and I can kind of utilize them to sew, to sew my pocket onto. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go in between these stitches and go on the side right there. Put my needle right through, pull the yarn, and I want to tie this on. Okay. And I would take your time with this. Go slow and don't rush. Okay, there we go. And then down here I want to make sure this is lined up, so it's nice and lined up. And then I'm going to grab the cardigan and hold it in place. Now I'm just going to start finding stitches, and I'm just going to go in and out. So I'm going to go in like this, and I'm going to go into this pocket right here. Okay, and then I'm going to find some more stitches, and I'm slowly just going to sew this pocket all the way around. And if you have to, stop every once in a while and adjust your pocket, so that way you know you are on the right track. And that means stop for a moment, look and see that your pocket is nice and straight with the 2 stitch markers. So it's straight with this one and straight with that one. and that it's also straight with the cardigan as well. So you're straight up here and straight here, instead of your pocket looking like this, okay? And so that is what I'm going to do. And I will be back shortly. So just go in between the stitches like this. And I went over, so that was my fault. Now if you see any holes like this, you're just going to find the stitches in the back right here to go into, just like that. Okay, so go nice and slow. Stop every once in a while, check and make sure that your pocket is straight. Even if you have to lay it flat like this, and make sure that your sewing is actually nice and straight, okay? Because you're now going to be sewing in white against a white background, so it's going to be a little bit harder to, excuse me, not harder, it's going to be a little difficult to see, but just take your time and go slow and go into your stitches, because that's what you have right here, is all these little stitches, and utilize those. Okay, I will meet you back around at the very end once I have this pocket all the way sewn. Alrighty, I am back and I got all the way around, and so now I'm getting ready to tie off. I decided not to sew the pocket on the back of the cardigan, because at least that way I now have two pockets. It is your choice if you want to sew it all the way across to the other side. I decided not to, so I'm going to stop right here. So I'm going to go back into this stitch and make a loop, just like that. And then I'm going to go back through that loop, put my finger into the new loop, pull through, there's the new loop, put my needle right back through, pull tight, and I'm done. And now I'm just going to sew. I am so sorry, that was my husband in the background. I am going to just sew this right into the stitches, so that way I can just be done with it. And then there we go. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip. Okay. And that is what the pocket looks like. So now you have a back pocket as well too. I'm not going to put anything in that back pocket. It's just going to keep my hands warm. This one is going to hold my cell phone and all sorts of stuff in it when I'm wearing the cardigan. Alrighty, so that is how the pocket is done. That's what it looks like. It's really beautiful and I think it looks good. I'm going to do the second pocket, but first we are going to start on, you guessed it, we're going to start on the border. So we're going to get our white yarn and we're going to start. Alrighty, so I have my white yarn and I am just going to put my hook right down here at the very bottom. I'm on the left hand side of my cardigan and I'm just going to connect my yarn, and I am going to do half double crochet all the way across. I had to think about this one, so I took a little bit of time off of the video. So you're going to chain one. You're going to pull through and chain one, and we're going to put one half double crochet into that stitch. So I ended up taking some time off of the video, and anywhere you can find spacing, just put a half double crochet right into there. So I took some time off the video to think about how I wanted to do this border, and I wanted it to be something simple. Now something like this, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into it, instead of the 1, and then something like this, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into there. So I'm just going to yarn over, go into my stitch, grab my working yarn, yarn over and pull through all 3. And I'm going to do this all the way around the cardigan. So I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into the side of the granny stripe. and I'm almost to the end. So let me just get there real quick. And if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit that like button so that way I know you're enjoying this video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more tutorials such as this one and others I'm going to do in the future. Alrighty, so we're almost to the end. 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, and I hope this video is making your day good. Alright, so once we get to the cardigan portion, what I am going to do is I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into here. And this is what it should look like so far. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 half double crochet into this stitch, 1 half double crochet into this stitch, and then into the spacing. Sorry, my yarn is pulling right now. And then once I get into the spacing right here, I'm just going to put 1 half double crochet right into that spacing. So it's pretty much 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and when you get to the spacing, 1 half double crochet right into there. And what I'll do is I will meet you on the other side, which is all the way down here. So I'll meet you right down here at the very end, and I'll show you how to do the next rows. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I didn't make it all the way around, but I forgot to tell you about when you get to the portion where the granny squares are connected, what to do. It's just really simple. You're just going to put 1 half double crochet right into this little spacing right here, and then you're going to skip over to this spacing and just put 1 half double crochet, and then do 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, just like this, and then 1 half double crochet into the spacing. And that's how simple that is right there. So that is when you get to the connection of the granny squares. So where we connected it, that's all you do. Make it really easy and very simple. I'll meet you all the way around in just a few moments. Alrighty, so I made it to the other end, and I probably wasn't clear about this section right here of the granny stripe. So when you make it to this section, what you're going to want to do is put 2 half double crochets into every spacing all the way across. I probably wasn't clear about that on the other side, so now you know. Okay, so I'm almost to the end, and if you're wondering what that noise is in the background, that's actually my dryer, so I'm doing some laundry real quick. So I'm going to put 1 half double crochet into this stitch right here, and then I'm going to put 1 more half double crochet right into here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I did it all the way around, and so now what's going to end up happening is we're going to chain 1 for row number 2, and we're going to turn our work. And so what I'm going to do for row number 2 is I want to do a texture, and I want this to be pretty wide, since when I put it on the cardigan on my body, it's only halfway instead of all the way in the middle. So I need to make sure to close that gap in the middle. So I'm going to do a texture, and it's going to be back loop half double crochet. So at the beginning of every stitch, I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet, normal stitch, and then into every stitch we're going to do a back loop. So as you can see, there's 2 loops right here. Here's loop number 1, so that would be your front loop, okay? And then this loop right here is going to be your back loop, and you're going to go right into that back loop, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And it's going to make this really neat texture that you will be able to see here shortly. So we're just going to put 1 half double crochet into the back loop of every single stitch all the way across, except when you get to the end, you're only going to just put a regular half double crochet into that stitch. I will meet you back around when I get to the end, and what I want to try and do is at least do about maybe 8 rows of this back loop half double crochet and see if it's wide enough. Okay, so I will meet you at the other end. Don't forget, go into your back loop of your half double crochet, and as you can see, it is starting to make this really neat texture. And pretty much what this stitch will do is, as you grow more rows, it'll make it into a ripple effect. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I'm at the end of row number 2, and I just have to put in a few more stitches in the back loop only. Okay, so in your last stitch, what you're going to do is you're just going to yarn over and go right under both of those bars. Grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And I'm going to do that at the beginning and at the end of every single row. So this is what your stitch will look like so far. It's going to look really beautiful, and it's going to be really neat because it'll be a ripple stitch. And so for row number 3 now, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And I'm just going to put 1 half double crochet right into that stitch, just a regular one. And now I'm going to go into the back loops of every single stitch. And so you'll start to see the ripple stitch. So every time you turn your work and you're working in the back loop on the other side, you'll also start to get this ripple stitch as well. So I'm going to do that for 8 rows. Come back on camera and show you if it's wide enough. If it's not, then I'm going to add more rows, because I actually want this to be pretty wide. I'm not going to do a hood this time for this cardigan. This one is not going to have any buttons as well. So pretty much what's going to end up happening is this one is going to be one of those wraparound type cardigans, to where you just put it on and you just wrap it around your body, instead of having to mess with buttons and zippers and all sorts of stuff. For the next cardigan that I do, I will be doing a hood, and I will show you that one. And this one is called the Teal of Dreams. Alrighty, so I will see you in 8 rows. Alrighty, I am back and I'm at the end, and I just have a few more stitches. Now, the last time that I left off, I told you I was only going to do 8 rows. I ended up doing the 8 rows and it was not wide enough. So I actually ended up doing 20 rows. One more stitch, and there we go. So this is how wide the border is on the front. 20 rows, all half double crochet back loop only. Now we are done with the cardigan at this point. So you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut your yarn. Yarn over and pull through and pull through and tighten. So 20 rows. This took me about a week to do, due to the fact that I was working a lot, so I wasn't able to really sit down and crochet it. And the last time I had a lot of yarn. Actually, I didn't. I had half a ball of this, so I ended up having to go to the store and buy another one of these. And as you can see, I didn't use very much. That way I could finish the border. Okay, so I am going to pull out the cardigan real quick and show it off. Another thing you can do, and I'm not going to, is you can do a single crochet border down here at the bottom. But because we have this piece right here, you just can crochet it right up and then keep going around. I'm going to leave it. I think it looks good. I've done a lot of crocheting for this cardigan. It looks amazing. So if you give me a few minutes, I'm going to pull the cardigan out, show it to you. We're going to end the video. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to pull out and show you. So this is the front, and as you can see, there is the border. So you can fold it over, but it is very, very long. And I wanted to make sure that if we're not going to do a hood, you could just fold this right over. We're not going to do any buttons, so pretty much you can just fold it over like this and keep yourself nice and warm. There is the pocket. I put the sleeve in the pocket. That's what the sleeve looks like. So that is the front of the cardigan. When you do try on your cardigan, your pocket is going to be kind of folded on the side like this, and that'll be on both sides, of course, as you can see. And then of course we're gonna flip it over. You just flip it real quick and I will show you the back. And that is the back portion of the cardigan. It is a medium to large size. Okay, so there's the sleeve. You can see a little bit of my desk. And that is what the back of the cardigan will look like. It has stripes. It's very, very beautiful. So what I'm going to do is in the beginning of this video, oh, there goes my finger. So in the very beginning of the video, you will get to see more of this beautiful cardigan. I will show it more off instead of what you're seeing right now. But thank you everybody for viewing this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I apologize that the video was so long. We had so much to do. And as always, I will also put down in the comment section or down in the description box how to do this two-tone granny square. I did do this on one of my Saturday grannies, so I will post that in the very bottom. Again, I believe this is 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it was 7 rows. So you will just keep repeating and repeating until you have as many rows as you would like and how big you would like it. So again, I hope everybody had a wonderful time. I hope this made your day. I hope you make this in the multiple colors that you would like. And until next time, everybody, don't forget, scroll down, hit that like button, let me know that you're enjoying this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more tutorials such as this one and others I will do in the future. Alright everyone, bye bye!